brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Certainly we think quarterback is taken care of, right? So they don't need a quarterback. And you look at the interior of their offensive line, and they're really solid there with young guys. They don't need any help there.
Just kind of managing it, but getting the mobility back as best as I possibly can. I wouldn't say I'm 100%, but I've had no necessary limitations. It's just when you go through a grind of a week of training and you're trying to push it and go through the rehab process, but at the same time you want to make sure you're still building.
He's in a great spot as far as the expectations are going to be a lot lower than what I think with the team that didn't make the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers. So I think he has a lot of things, going in the right direction for him to get his career started in the NFL.
I think they're just really good. They have a lot of good girls. They're going to be awful tough to beat in everything. All three relays. They got three good 800 girls, probably 4 or 5 good milers. So.
Swinging a drive into right field. That's a base hit. Carroll will score easily around third. Gurriel will reach the third. RBI single, Pavin Smith, and the Diamondbacks move back on top 3-2.
That I can rely on my changeup when I have no feel of my breaking balls. So really, especially in that fourth inning, fastball, changeup, kind of got me through that inning. So being able to recognize I have better options earlier would probably help me out a lot in a game like that where didn't have best feel for breaking balls at all.
Schroeder brings it into LeBron. LeBron top of the key with Xavier Tillman on him. LeBron drives to the rim. He's going for 2, lays it up and in. Less than a second remains.
Daniel Sprong scores already in this game. His shot was blocked. Eberle gets it in the slot. Schwartz. Eberle scores! Jordan Eberle. Game 4. Overtime. Winner!
And welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Mayo Money Management Studio. Steve Webster with you on the Tuesday show, joined by Mike Hesher, Mike Corson, and Aaron Clark. On the program today, Cole Reif is coming in. He has no idea what I'm going to ask him about today, but we will get a very good, thoughtful answer from Cole Reif on our topic today.
Just throw out NBA. That was my fallback last week when I needed to fill time, was run downstairs and see if Cole wanted to come up to talk about NBA. So,
well, it probably won't be that today, but it will be an interesting topic. Okay,
I'm excited. I'm gonna have to be tuning in.
Kansas pregame magazines. John Betts is going to join us on the show today, and he's already started on football. And we're going to talk a little bit memorabilia today. And Great Bend High School tennis coach Chris Manning will be joining Mike Corson on
The Prowl.
Okay, it's all coming up here on the program today. But all right. Come on.
What? He's just Dr. Doom.
Come on. You're just over there just sulking around. Come on. There's a smile. All right. Mike Hesher's on the program.
I'm smiling from the inside. I have a resting depressed face.
Okay. Mike Hesher with us. All right, let's get to our sounds of the past 24 hours or so. Adam Teicher talking about what the Chiefs will do in the NFL. Jeff said, okay, we've got a quarterback. Okay, that's all right. Interior lines, pretty solid. So where are they going to go in the draft? I like the right tackle idea from Jeff Chadiha yesterday from the NFL Network. We're going to wait and see. Is there any chance the Chiefs would drop back? Because if you're holding a big party at your house, right? It's this big party. Everybody's there to see, and your hometown fans are just waiting for that first. The Kansas City Chiefs have traded their first-round selection, and they don't even make a pick. Would they get booed then?
I don't think so, but I think there's a potential for that to happen because this year's quarterback crop isn't necessarily the strongest, so I'm not sure we'll see an early run or run on them early in the first round. However, sometimes teams do like to be able to have the fifth-year option on a quarterback. The only way you have the ability to exercise that is if you take him in the first round. This year, pick 31, that's the last pick in the first round. could be an interesting spot. We've seen it happen before.
It's in Kansas City. Yeah. You can't trade your first pick. All the people are down there just waiting.
In Veach we trust. I swear if the Chiefs get booed, if Veach gets booed during the draft, man, KC, you just saw what he did. You'll see me fuming in here on Friday if they get booed.
They got the home crowd. They got to do something blockbuster. I don't know 31 college football players to make an announcement, but they do, and they're the ones picking.
And if they don't go offensive tackle, which that is where I like him to go, especially if they can get a guy like Broderick Jones out of Georgia or DeJuan Jones out of Ohio State. But I don't know how you'd feel if they took a guy out of Tennessee like Jalen Hyatt. He's a wide receiver. He's an absolute speed burner. He
could catch the ball.
He can. Especially, well, granted, at Tennessee, that system is a lot of go balls, a lot of scheming guys wide open, so he didn't have a lot of contested. However, I know an NFL coach who's pretty good at scheming guys open, especially one who's just blazing fast, and that's what Jalen Hyatt was at Tennessee. So could see potentially Hyatt sneak in there.
Okay, that'd be fine. I mean, receiver's they need to add another receiver. I just want to know if he can catch.
We saw.
Remember Dwayne Bowe? He couldn't catch a ball out. It'd be wide open, and he couldn't catch it. But if you throw him up in a jump ball where there'd be two guys all over him, he could catch it.
Oh, yeah, you'd let him go up and get walloped by Troy Polamalu over the middle, and he comes down with it no problem.
The NFL draft begins on Thursday. We'll have Friday coverage here on KVGB. The Chiefs trading out of the first round. Fans are down there. By then, they're going to be sauced, man. It's going to be
by the end of the first, especially the festivities begin at like 3 or something. Ooh.
Would there be any scenario where they would move up?
I don't know. We haven't seen the Chiefs be very aggressive in a move up since acquiring Mahomes.
That was a good move, yeah.
Which was, but I don't know if they really need to. It doesn't feel like their roster is in a position where they have to be aggressive to go get any one player. They're pretty solid.
They get caught up in the moment. Well, we can really make this exciting.
Throw a haymaker in the first round.
Yeah, they could. Patrick Mahomes, any concern about him coming back from an injury?
It sounds like he's doing very well, having all off season to kind of lay off. It is those high ankle sprains, you never really know. They're kind of the bane of a lot of athletes. You never want to hear about a high ankle sprain because there's not a great way to fix it, and it can be a nasty one to come around. However, a one-legged Patrick Mahomes was still probably a top 5 quarterback in the NFL last year. So if we can get him up to about 1.5 legs, we'll be standing good.
Half-legged Patrick Mahomes. Mark Tauscher, he is a former Packers offensive lineman. And saying, it's kind of sad to see the era end in Green Bay, but how will Jordan Love handle being the starter? He's gone through the perfect way you want to develop a quarterback. He's been behind. He's been with the Packers 3 years now?
2.
Okay.
This was his second year.
Okay, so that's the way I would prefer that you groom a quarterback. Now, I think he started against the Chiefs here, not last year, but the year before. And, he was just a rookie then. Nothing great there, but what do you think of Jordan Love taking over for the Packers now that they have made the trade with the New York Jets?
I think it's a very interesting position for the Packers to be in, specifically because a lot of times when a team is losing a franchise quarterback like that, they're going into mayhem trying to replace him. Here, and the Packers, it's a familiar position for him to be in, losing a franchise quarterback and having the new guy waiting in the wings. But Jordan Love, we saw it in college at Utah. He has a heck of an arm, and if that can translate to the NFL, we've seen gunslingers prosper in Green Bay. Granted, their wide receiver weapons are a little lacking. However, I'd like to see Green Bay get a pass catcher, not necessarily a wide receiver, because some of the tight ends could be good in their role with the departure of Robert Tonyan. However, Jordan Love in a decent spot.
I wish him the worst. You had one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and you go behind his back, recruit a guy. So that was shocking. Maybe they were starting to see the writing on the wall. But if you think of all the Rodgers merchandise, that organization has sold what he's done for that community with that program. I don't see how you let someone go like that. So we don't ever watch New York Jets football out here, but with Breece Hall coming back and now Aaron Rodgers out there, the cool green helmets, the bald guy from San Francisco, the coach. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch.
Okay, so the Jets also got the number 15 overall pick and a 5th rounder this year. And the Packers get the 13th overall selection, a 2nd rounder, a 6th rounder, and a conditional 2024 second round.
What it ultimately boils down to for Green Bay is 2 second rounders, one this year and one next year that could potentially become a first-round pick depending on how many snaps Rodgers plays and I believe how well New York does.
I'm just glad it's over. I'm tired of Aaron Rodgers.
That's what the biggest winner of this trade, because neither team came out with a great takeaway. It was good for both of them. The fans. Fans are the biggest winners because now we don't have to hear about this for the last 6 months. Now we're finally over.
I don't care what kind of diva he is. Is there a more entertaining professional athlete?
Well, see, when his brother was on The Bachelor, I found him to be kind of like condescending, kind of like a sneaky snake. So that's the way I look at Aaron Rodgers, just because of his brother's appearance on The Bachelor.
I would counter with the Kelsey brothers. They're both two pretty entertaining guys on the field.
Yeah, but they're not going in a dark room the headlines you get out of Rodgers they're unparalleled.
That's true. Ayahuasca trips to find his inner self.
So that's what you do, and you go for Green Bay, and then you retire, and then you come back as a New York Jet.
That's a mark. What do you think New York's going to do to him? He was getting that wacky and wild in the luxurious neighborhoods of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Now he's going to be living the high life in New York.
He'll be seeing cheeseheads in the stands, and there's no cheeseheads in the stands.
Sam Darnold was seeing ghosts. Aaron Rodgers is going to be seeing cheeseheads.
Lyles Lashley. Did you wake him up to do that interview yesterday?
Like it was a mutual alarm clock.
Okay, it was okay. Talking about those St. James Academy people. They got 4 or 5 good milers. They've got who else is going to be competition in 5A?
I don't have my list
of girls.
In front of me, and I haven't broken it down. Hutch is surprisingly strong with the Collins girl, who is the best hurdler by far in the state. She's also a pretty good sprinter. So there's a potential for 2 golds and a top 3 finish. And I think they've got some decent throwers and maybe a jumper. But when you start piling up, Great Bend piles up on those relays. So we had the school record in the 4x1, the 4x4 state champs. 4x8's always in competition. And St. James can do that too. When you get that many distance kids, your 4x1, your 4x8 are automatic point getters. Plus you got the 8, the 16, the 32. So heaven forbid they get somebody who can jump or hurdle, because that's when they become a danger. But right now, Great Bend does have that. We've got 3 capable high jumpers, 2 returning state medalists, our own good hurdlers, distance kids. We got the throwers. So this is a complete package for Great Bend, and it would be lovely to see a public school take the crown. Of course, Mill Valley has been the champ, and they're public, but I don't know if they count.
Why?
It's a big district.
Okay.
They're in 6A now. That's how big they were.
Okay, all right. Anyway, Lyles Lashley on Sports Day yesterday. I don't know what to go first with, the NBA cut or the Royals. We'll go with the Royals here. The call on KMVP in Phoenix. Pavin Smith singling to right field, scoring Corbin Carroll in the bottom of the 3rd. That put the Diamondbacks ahead of the Royals 3-2. They go on to win it 5-4. That's the way the things are going. You see how Christian Walker scored last night? It was a perfect hit off the end of the bat. He cue balled it.
He hit it so hard they sent Eaton down.
And winning run scores. What are your thoughts on Brad Keller?
6 walks? Are you kidding me? I think it's a typical Brad Keller. Yeah. I don't think he's changed much. I think it's time that
he had a good stretch last year. He did. I thought, man, okay, he's got it. It lasted like about 4 or 5 starts.
And he had a good year, the COVID year. That was his big year, was the COVID year. But they are stuck in, I won't say mediocrity, because it's below mediocrity.
I didn't like when they started him opening day a couple of years ago, but now look, Bubich is out probably.
That was a killer.
Just when he was starting to hopefully come along. So, boy, when the news gets worse.
Brady Singer's on the mound tonight.
awesome.
Never say it could get worse. Buddy Bell always said that, and he got worse for the Royals when he was manager.
Brady, he's got an ERA of 8.10. Isn't that a TV show? 8.10.
Senior 8.10.
Hey.
8 o'clock tonight for the Royals and
with the
Diamondbacks. The call on 710 ESPN. LeBron James sneaks his way to the basket to tie the game in overtime and send the game to overtime. And the Lakers beat the Grizz last night, 117-111.
I've seen his shoulders. He's never snuck anywhere.
I was going to say he's never snuck anywhere.
He slithered his way.
It was a big win for the Lakers. It gives them a 3-1 lead in the series, and I think it's funny because Dylan Brooks, after Memphis got out to a 1-0 start, talked about how LeBron, he doesn't respect LeBron because he hadn't scored 40 on him. Well, last night LeBron had 20 points with 20 rebounds, and according to one Shaquille O'Neal, that adds up to 40, Dylan Brooks. So you might want to put some respect on LeBron James's name.
I like Dylan Brooks. You don't have to bow down to LeBron James.
You don't have to, but I think you should respect the man. Saying you don't respect him and then let him walk over you like that, that's a tough look considering.
Well, did he say I don't respect him?
Yes.
Okay.
He said he hasn't scored 40 on me, so he doesn't respect him. It was a wild statement for a guy who, among players with 55 shot attempts in the playoffs, he has the least amount of points.
He was trying to motivate his teammates.
Let's put it in context. That's like me, the new radio guy who coming over there and talking smack on you.
Legitimate, like,
but you guys do
downstairs.
Oh, it goes down there. All you guys, I can just hear it, man. You
that's when my office isn't downstairs. Mine's at the end of the hall.
It's a chit chatters down there. I know what goes on in that basement.
It's just nonsensical that stuff like that makes the news. Like
Jimmy Butler got 56 for Miami. They beat the Bucks 119-114. So the NBA's top overall seed on the brink of an early elimination.
Especially impressive because Giannis was back last night. Miami won Game 3 to get a 2-1 lead without Giannis there. It was kind of expected that Antetokounmpo coming back would even up the series. However, 3-1.
I was going to say, we'll give him an NBA spot if he can properly say the last name, but I think he blazed his way through it.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo. You just say it fast. Antetokounmpo.
The Greek freak.
Yes.
Just the Greek freak.
Antetokounmpo, yeah.
Yeah, Heat, 3-1 lead. Could see an 8 seed
Holy
defeat
cow,
the 1 seed. It'd be wacky.
Wow. I think the last team that...
I think it would have been the...
Didn't the Nuggets beat somebody?
The Nuggets beating the Mavericks.
Was it Mavericks?
It was a Maverick. It was the Dirk Nowitzki-led Mavericks in the year he won MVP.
Transfer portal is working.
Golly, I'm starting to... Also... Jordan Eberle scoring on a goal assisted by Jaden Swartz and Daniel Sprong in overtime.
These games are all going over.
Avalanche beat the Kraken 3-2.
Because we had 2 games going to overtime last night, and man, it's just the greatest time of year. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs.
All right, there you go. Sports headlines today. We took 4 minutes spent on the NBA. Panthers softball, 8-7. Freshman coming through again. Is that an NBA finger?
That is an asterisk finger.
Okay, all right.
So little freshman gets a big hit in the 6th, which turned out to be a pivotal run. It might have been previously reported that she hit a grand slam inside the Parker in the 7th. It also could have been a double with a couple errors, but still a big hit. Drove in 4 runs. She came around to score, and that was the game winner.
And according to our Great Bend High School insider over here, we've still got games going on today.
Yep, Great Bend baseball is scheduled
It's going to rain everywhere around.
Exactly. No rain will fall at the Great Bend Sports Complex. We'll have baseball going today.
All right, and Barton, they canceled their game today with Cali. That would have been a good game, 9-inning game that they were supposed to play out at Lawson Biggs Field today. That's been postponed or canceled. And they'll just go Thursday when they play at Hutch, Barton baseball. And then softball, they would have been their softball game pushed to Thursday against Dodge City.
Could have been nice for Cowley to come out to Biggs Field here. I believe they have a freshman pitcher, Chase Gruber, senior last year, now at Cowley College pitching for him. Could have been an opportunity to see former Great Bend product on the mound for Cowley, but Barton, best of luck as they take him on next week, or later this week, rather.
Some breaking, spoiler alert, Paige Wagner won the National Bowling Championship, televised tonight, 6 p.m. on CBS Sports. So we know who wins, but there were a couple close games in there. Going to be worth a watch.
Plus, it's not too bad when you know who wins when it's the one you're rooting for, right? You know it's going to be a happy ending. Like
I thought Keontae Johnson was gone, saying he's leaving his options open in case he doesn't see what he likes at the NBA. He declares for the NBA draft, but he's leaving his
He's not hiring an agent,
Correct.
so he still maintains his amateurism.
And Deion, Coach Prime Sanders losing numerous players to the transfer portal, including a holdover wide receiver who's a standout in Colorado's sold-out spring game over the weekend.
But he had the 98-year-old superfan kickoff. They have a couple of twins out there, and the one passed away in the last 3 or 4 years. She's 98. He let her kick off. It was fantastic. You got to know these two ladies. They're fabulous. Huge CU fans.
How far did she get downfield?
About 5 yards. It didn't go very far.
Oh, that was going to be my joke, that she kicked it out the back.
I think the
High altitude.
There's thin up there. She probably got 6 yards off it.
Okay, maybe it was. I didn't really, but it didn't go very far. But they were just, I mean, every time they showed them on the screen in a basketball game, they would get a standing ovation.
Was that like the old ladies used to go, the old all-star wrestling matches down in Wichita?
And don't be mistaken, it was an onside kick attempt.
I think the biggest
she
story
recovered it, man. It was all
on the bottom of the pile.
All right, Cole Rife coming up next on Sports Day.
Barton Community College enrollment days are back. Registration is now available for all sessions through July 26th. Make the enrollment process fun, fast, and simple. Reserve your spot to get everything set up for the fall semester in just one day. Visit with an academic and financial advisor, enroll in classes, take a tour of campus, and more. Visit enroll.bartoncccc.edu to sign up.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
Hi, my name is Dalton Jones, a patient that I helped. She came in with chronic back pain that she'd been having for years. After several weeks of showing her exercises, several different interventions, we were able to get her back to where she can do her shopping without leaning on the shopping cart at all.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Hey everyone, Trey Bergen here with Ag 360 Insurance. As storm season approaches and with prices quickly rising, making sure you have enough coverage on your irrigation systems is very important. At Ag 360 Insurance, we have multiple carriers that offer competitive rates and great coverage. We'd appreciate an opportunity to earn your business. Feel free to stop by our office in St. John or give us a call at 620-549-3579. You can also check us out online at ag360insurance.com.
He's the voice of Hoisington High School football, the Barton County Cougars, and the king of the tweeter machine. It's Cole Rife on Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Cole Rife joins us on Sports Day today. You're admiring our beaver in here.
Yeah, a Buc-ee's beaver. Yeah, that's. I mean, this isn't like, if you went to the Buc-ee's convenience store and you were trying to skimp out, you might get like little keychain version.
Right.
That might throw you $2.99. But you said this is like $11.99.
Everything's priced well at Buc-ee's.
It is? Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good quality. I mean, that thing's soft.
Yeah. So have you been to a Buc-ee's?
No, I've never even seen a Buc-ee's.
Well,
and
you're down in the basement with Corson. He's going to just force you to go there. It's an awesome thing. I got him 2 things of official Buc-ee's chapstick that I picked up for him down there in Kentucky. So
yeah, there's an obsession with that one.
Corson was heartbroken when we found out they weren't going to locate in Russell. So
that was big news.
Yeah, it's incredible. You need to check it out. Okay, my question for you today. You've covered Barton now for 9 years.
10, I think.
10, really?
10 that includes the year you and I did it together, yeah.
Okay, all right. So when you cover a team, you cover the league, you get different. So what I'm getting to here, we have a new commissioner in the Jayhawk Conference, right? Mike Sadler.
Yeah, good guy.
What do you think?
I like him. I mean, I've liked him since he was at Neosho. He was at Neosho for a number of years. I think his title was SID when he was down in Neosho. And then obviously he's from Colby area, so he's able to go back home and took over as the athletic director at Colby. And, he's just always been heavily involved. I mean, even when he was at Neosho, but especially at Colby, he's always been on a number of different committees, for the NJCAA, let alone the Jayhawk Conference. He's always, one of the directors for the conference tournaments, so you're always seeing him about. So heavily involved, and I think he's, my conversations with him, he's got a good head on his shoulders, so I think he has a good understanding for what the conference is and what it has to boast. I think he's a good guy and hopefully a good fit.
Is the position set up? I mean, of course, we know that another former commissioner basically just ran it the way he wanted to and didn't run it the way I probably would have. But, I mean, is it set up where, if you were commissioner of this league, what do you see that could make this league better?
I think each specific sport probably has its different demands. You'd have to single out a sport to say, okay, what things could be better.
Well, let's go to the prime sports, probably football and basketball in the Jayhawk Conference. And what can a commissioner do, I guess, is, to get out there and promote? I don't know.
As far as getting more people interested?
More people interested and some things like that.
I think that goes on the specific colleges. I think you got to start there first and getting involved, not only with community. I know a number of them, try to promote community service and getting out there, but making it more aware to the community and trying to buy in with the city and also the county, obviously, as well, that, hey, we do have things going on and they are entertaining. You talk about football. JUCO football is really, really different. People can say that about any of the sports at junior college, and people say that about basketball too, I know as well, but I think it has a pretty good brand of basketball, over decades. Football, but you're still seeing top quality athletes, compete. So, getting out there and promoting it. But, I think even if you put your big promoter hat on there, there's just a knock of junior college athletics that is just hard to overcome. I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's hard to overcome and get people interested when, they have all the options that they do. Obviously we all have busy lives, but then on top of that, people still show up for KU, K-State games, but there's just not that buy-in at the junior college level. And what does exist is definitely, has dwindled over the years.
So, Barton, how many sports do we have now? 18?
22.
22,
yeah.
22? Or
and there's probably going to be talks of some additional ones.
Women's wrestling,
flag
football.
So, but 22 at the moment, yeah.
The basketball tournament was always the one that, how do you make that special? It was always, they've tried to find different locations for it. It seems like it really went well when it was in Salina, but to make that a festival or something, I don't know, where all the teams are there, maybe at the same hotel. I don't know. Make it more of a special event, I think.
Yeah, and I think they kind of, for a variety of reasons, they cheaped out, since the COVID year. And they switched to the COVID. It made sense where they only sent the semifinals and then the championship game, obviously, on the neutral floor site, but it used to be the quarterfinals, too. And I think you need to get that back. I think the quarterfinals need to be there. It needs to be that spectacle. So, if you make it to the quarterfinals, it's a big deal. We've seen upsets happen in the quarterfinals. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes they're ugly games. Sometimes they're blowouts, but that should be at a neutral floor site. So
8 teams down at Hartman, that was okay, except Wichita didn't care about it. So the Wichita Sports Commission, other than putting a bag of bugles out in the hospitality room, that was just about it,
Yeah. There's strong conversation. I know that continues to go on with maybe Hutchinson hosting it at the sports arena. Obviously the good setup. It's a JUCO town.
Yeah.
It's the side of the national tournament on the men's side, but even putting the women's over there. But you get the obvious pushback of hey, we don't want to go play at Hutchinson. They're already really, really good, typically year in and year out, but we don't want to go play them on their home floor, potentially, in a matchup if you had to play the Blue Dragons. So there's that pushback, but I think you're seeing more and more less of that pushback. Because I think people want to, I think a lot of coaches around the league are just hey, we want something, like you said, special, and we want it to be taken serious. And it just feels like that is flip-flopped all around. Like it was, in Wichita, then it went to Salina for a year, then it went to, it was in Dodge City for 1 year, and then you go back to, Wichita for another year. And it's fine, it's going to be in Wichita, but Friends University, come on, man. I mean, I get that it was the only one available. That's the problem, though, because I don't want to put complete blame on whoever schedules that and in charge, because you look at it, Koch Arena's booked that same week typically with 6A state basketball. Wichita's not giving up 6A state basketball for a junior college tournament. And then Hartman Arena, it was kind of hit and miss, but they would have the KCAC championships were going on. And then they had the NAIA, national championships. I don't think it was like the first 2 rounds or something like that, but they had those out there. So, I mean, you could have probably tried to squeeze it in between there, but there's a lot going state wrestling.
That's another thing, because I think if you have state tournament week, it gets lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, I mean, I know in years past, it used to be the week before. And so you'd have, the Region 6, and then the next week would be state basketball for high school. So, yeah, I mean, that's tough. I mean, I always came up with the idea, and I've thrown it out there to a number of people, but no one really takes me serious because there are some holes in it. But I would love to see it revolve around Jayhawk Conference towns. So 1 year Great Bend hosts it here at the Kirkman. Maybe next year Hutchinson hosts it. Seward, Liberal, wherever. Now, there are holes because there are certain towns, probably Independence, probably Coffeyville.
Liberal.
And Liberal. But, I mean, Liberal has the accommodations. I'm thinking like, hotel rooms, that type of making it possible. Indy would be tough. I mean, I don't care if it's a great destination to go to, the big city. Like, I don't care about that. It just, is it possible with hotel rooms and accommodations? Indy would be a challenge. I think Coffeyville would be a challenge. Some of your smaller, even Arc City would be somewhat of a challenge. Obviously, Wichita's nearby, but yeah, I would love to see it rotate around. So 1 year, we get to host it out here at Barton. Next year, it goes to Garden City, Colby, wherever. But I think that would be cool. But I don't think that's even.
I used to like the shootout when you went down there, where everybody came down and you got to see everybody play. But they kind of took that away. That was at Coffeyville, where before the conference season even started. That was kind of a fun event. But things have evolved so much. So okay, I just want to pick your brain on that. See, I just want something more than bugles. That's the biggest thing.
Now at Friends this past March, they brought in Chick-fil-A. Had that catered in.
All right.
And then they also, was it Panera Bread? Something else was in there.
That's
but
cool. Yeah, it's just more about I'd like to have it just where the teams come in, you get a good rate for the fans at, one motel. And then the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference they had out in Denver, that's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
All the teams were there. It was like a festival.
Well, and I think junior college has got it, and Barton's done a really good job with this in that they fund a lot of their things through sponsorships and not put it on the fans. I think junior college really has to look serious at that, because trying to charge folks, and I don't remember what the gate prices were, but I want to say it was like $8 to $10 to go watch a day of basketball, which, in the grand scheme, you say, hey, we're going to go watch, Big 12 tournament. That's a great price. But let's be real. I mean, not a lot of people want to pay $8 to $10 to go watch a basketball game, especially, if you're only going to be there for 1 day. Now, if you're going to make it a day of it, you're going to watch like all 4 games, like say if it was the quarterfinals or something like that, or the semifinals, women's and men's, okay. But like if you're going to charge $8, $10, like you're driving people away. Even if you put like maybe $1 or $2, like that's how, I mean, even the possibility of making it free. Because I think that's the biggest thing. You want to increase your brand more than anything. Are you really making like big buku dollars because you're charging $8 to $10 to get 100 or 120 people in the gym?
Charge the radio stations.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Yeah. And then the other thing is like half the people in attendance anyway are getting free passes. Like, they're college coaches, they're D2, they're D1 coaches that are in the stands scouting, watching. They're other coaches, they're other players. Like, there's a few moms and dads that are in there that are paying those tickets.
Yeah, that are paying the tickets.
Yeah, are you really making enough money? Like, just put it at free of charge and try to increase your brand.
I was just waiting for you to announce that you want to be the next commissioner. That's what I was wanting to know. Cole, thanks a lot for the insight on that. John Betts coming up next here on Sports Day.
Some of us were born to farm. Some diesels, like Cenex Premium Diesel, were born to fuel. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn to reduce particulate matter and keep filters cleaner for longer. Fuel your equipment like a pro with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and leave typical number 2 diesel to the amateurs. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
Contact American Plains Co-op and Gray Band, your certified Cenex distributor today.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Ripe, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
La Quinta in Dodge City offers a comfortable and adventure-packed stay for guests looking to explore the best of Southwest Kansas. Located in close proximity to Dodge City's top attractions, including the historic downtown district and Boot Hill Casino, La Quinta is the perfect starting point for any adventure. You can explore the area, soak up the local culture, and enjoy everything the region has to offer. Book your stay at lq.com and experience why La Quinta in Dodge City is the ultimate destination for travelers seeking comfort, convenience, and adventure.
For a limited time, take advantage of savings on select new Case IH compact tractors with no money down, no interest for 60 months. With easy operation, Case IH tractors deliver the flexibility and durability your operation demands. Hurry in. Offer ends April 30th, 2023. Stop by Can Equip today in Great Bend and set yourself up for greater productivity in 2023 with a great deal on a Case IH tractor that works as hard as you do.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Kansas Pregame Magazine's John Betts joins us right now on the show. John, I'm not even going to mention anything other than what the topic is today, because we'll get off on some tangent like we did last time. We won't even talk about what we intended to talk about. So, but that was good stuff last time, talking Smith Center football.
It was fun. It was fun. Hey, what program am I on again? I'm so busy I forget.
Let's see, the Kansas pregame tablet. Is that what you've got out there, right? Is that Yes, John Betts, Kansas pregame. Okay. What's going you've expanded out. Tell me about your spring publication you put out this year.
Yeah, baseball, softball, track preview. However, we had challenges with the printer. This is something I'm comfortable talking about. Our printer, Allen Press in Lawrence, Kansas. We'd only used them for about 18 months. Really did a nice job, but they were purchased by a large conglomerate called Sheridan, and when the ownership changed in January of this year, they mid-project, like in April, they said, hey, it's actually going to take us 7 days longer to get the magazine printed than we originally thought. And so, fortunately we have the digital online version now, and we were able to get that out actually before the season. But the hard copies, there was a week and a half of action that had pretty much already taken place by the time we got them out. But the online version has become the preview, and the hard copy has become kind of a keepsake thing.
Correct.
And we try to encourage people. Fortunately, there's still a lot of moms out there that are interested in keeping physical things on hand so that someday kids can look at that stuff with the family and maybe try to prove to their kids that they actually were a good athlete at one time. And so it's fun to have that. We're going to go back probably to printing in Denver at Publication Printers this fall, and they have a lot better turn time. They work 24 hours a day. I've actually had conversations with their pre-press people at like 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning before, helping me fix a PDF issue. And I'm hoping to get a little smoother about the process so that I don't have to have those 3 a.m. conversations anymore. But it is what it is. Sometimes bigger is not always better, and we were disappointed to see that relationship in because it was nice to have it here in Kansas, but that's the way it goes.
But it's continued to expand now. You get into the spring stuff, so that's really good. I mean, that's what happens. Well, we've got a Kansas pregame magazine for football and fall sports, but nothing for. And so then we got basketball, we've got wrestling, and now we have the spring sports too. So we have an opening down in our basement, so be perfect for your operation. I'm just telling you right now. There's even an elevator that could take the heavier stuff down for you.
Well, I'm sure it'll cost us $1 million to buy a printing press, so that may. I mean, if you want to front the money for it, I'll consider doing that. But.
Okay, I'll call Kurt David right now and say, hey, you need to get a printing press, man. We're going to have John Betts in our basement.
I just want to say we're not expanding any further. That's it. You need to know what you're capable of, and when I was younger, it was always growth. We've got it. If we're not growing, we're dying. And I feel really good about where we're at, the sports that we're covering. I would love to cover volleyball because I feel like volleyball may be the most underserved, no pun intended, sport in terms of coverage in the state. And especially considering the participation and the quality of athletes that we have. But I think we're probably where we are. We probably are not going to have volleyball. We're probably not going to have cross-country, golf, soccer, bowling, bass fishing, target clays. Those kind of things are probably not going to be part of our future. We just want to be the best at those things that we're doing right now, and hopefully we're doing that.
But football is the best thing about football, John, is we know when they're playing, right? It's Friday nights. It's so much easier. I mean, volleyball match. Okay, is it Tuesday or is it Thursday, or is it a tournament up here on this particular weekend? So,
football specifically. So, I owned 2 newspapers for 15 years. And football was the only publication that we did. Well, we did a wrestling one for a while, and we did a basketball one in conjunction with Linda Denning at the Ellsworth paper. But they weren't fully fleshed out. Football for the last 10 years has been fully fleshed out, and it always used to be, it's so difficult to try to get all 330 teams covered or whatever it was. Now it feels like the easiest one because it's 330 teams, and that's all it is. Basketball and wrestling, especially with the girls wrestling expansion, together that's like 750 teams between boys and girls basketball and boys and girls wrestling. And then baseball, softball, and track, the same way. It's like trying to cover 1,000 teams. So now 330 teams for football feels relatively easy comparatively, but
what kind of plans are you already? I mean, when do you start? I mean, you're already underway for Kansas pregame magazine next fall, I would assume.
I'm actually making my feature list right now. I have emails compiled for about half the kids that we're going to have be part of the cover features, and we're doing coverage. I'm actually proofing a story right now about Sharp Performance, and RAC coach had a big combine in Kansas City on Sunday with 500 kids at it, and I'm proofing an article about how those kids did, and it helps, I see those results, and it kind of helps me. You learn a little bit more about, you can look at stats and honors and things like that, but then you also see a kid run a 4.5 at a combine like that, and you're like, oh, wow, man, I didn't realize that kid was quite at that level. And so it really, as soon as I got done with the spring distribution, which was basically the end of the first full week of April, it was right into football. So it's lines. It's exciting to talk about them and see who's going to be good and who has a chance to emerge, and all those kind of things.
Sports memorabilia, what's going on with that?
Well, so a bunch of guys that didn't have anything to do during COVID went home and dug stuff out of their closets, and the sports card market went crazy. I mean, stuff went up like 1,000%, and then that Last Dance documentary drove Jordan and Pippen cards through the roof and things like that. And I don't know, somewhere along the line, I bought a box of 1987 Topps baseball cards for $20, unopened packs, and that was my favorite card set in like 7th grade. I actually lived in Hayes for my 7th grade year because my mom was going to nursing school there, and there was a card shop.
Yep, I know
downtown. I used to go there every day, I bet, and it was right in that time frame of the 1987 Topps, which used the wood grain border design that actually was previously on a card set in the 60s. Mark McGuire, rookie, was in there, and Jose Canseco, but Bo Jackson Future Stars card was the biggest thing. And I bought a box of cards a while back, opened them up, had some fun, and now I'm gotten into grading and flipping sports cards. So I've got an eBay page. I'm on these Facebook groups, and I did think that I wanted to really have an aggressive card business, but as with all things, as I'm getting into it, I realize it takes a lot of time to be really good at it.
Yeah, it's a time deal, right?
I'm not sure where it's going to go, but it's fun.
Well, I'll see what I've got in my collection. I'm looking across here, Jan Stenerud. Yeah, it's just looking at me right now. So
1972 Topps with a light blue border.
No, it's not. Yeah. Hesh is going to get it for me. Oh, I've got a Mickey Mantle rookie card.
No, you don't.
I'm looking at it right now.
I'm assuming it's a reprint.
Yeah, it is, because I've got it sitting out here. If I had a Mickey Mantle rookie, yeah, it's a reprint.
The original 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle just here 2 months ago in whatever graded version it was sold for $15 million.
Yeah, I wouldn't leave that out on the window next. Right here. I can't even leave loose change in this studio, let alone a Mickey Mantle rookie card. This is number 266. Let's see.
The Mantle you're looking at?
Yeah. Team
I don't know.
Yeah. Jan Sten. It's not in mint condition. It's got a crack in it. So.
Oh well.
Anyway.
It's probably only worth $3 million then.
Okay. Thank you, Mike.
No, but it's fine. I started a deal called Central Kansas Collectibles, and I have a Facebook page and an eBay presence, and it's been fun to look at everything that's done with cards, modern cards, and then also to try to track down some good vintage ones and things like that. It's been a fun experience.
All right. Well, how can people find that, John?
If you just look for Central Kansas Collectibles on Facebook and Twitter, that's where we're most active with stuff right now.
Always good talking to you. It's kind of the off season right now. I know you're getting busy with football, but we'll chat again soon. Appreciate your time coming on the show.
Sounds good. I hope it sounded good. I feel like I was rambling on a little bit, but
that's the key to the show.
It makes for good content.
Sports Day, John. Sports Day, man. Sports Day. Okay.
But it's really only sports lunch.
Yeah, we'll have sports night with you talking to the printer at 3 a.m. So
yes, sounds good.
All right, John Betts with us here on Sports Day.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB Great Bend and 95.5 FM K238CK Hoisington.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
Attention Kansas high schoolers. Barton Community College wants to help you get ahead in your education and save money with new early college online savings. Starting March 20th, pay only $75 per credit hour on any Barton online course. That's a savings of up to $80. All online classes are eligible, including career technical and general education. Learn more at bartonccc.edu/earlycollege.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Mike Corson, joined today by Panther tennis coach Chris Manning. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, we're going to see if the rain holds out. Busy week for all the Panther teams, and you guys are supposed to go out to Emporia, so hopefully you guys can get that in.
Yep, we're crossing my fingers. Looks like there's less chance of rain in Emporia, so we're going to travel today and hope to get some matches in.
We'll go back Thursday to Dodge City, what may be your best finish of the year. Several teams out there, bigger schools, and Panthers finished third and not too far behind Dodge and Liberal. Was it the the best team effort of the year?
Overall, everyone played well. It was our best team effort, like you said. We had a couple people step up. Had a chance for second there for a while. Lost some matches we probably shouldn't have, but I'm very proud of how everyone played and where everyone's at, getting closer here to WAC and regionals. So.
And that's a tournament maybe we're seeing more often where there's no number one and number twos. They lump everybody in, which is the format for regionals. Do the kids and yourself, do you like that format better?
We like a mix of those tournaments. It does give us a little opportunity for players to kind of play above their level, see where they're at, see kind of what they need to work on if they're really trying to go somewhere and compete well at regionals. And it allows kind of better players if you have multiple people that are competing for a one spot to get the opportunity to kind of shine and show their skill level.
And Brendan Schroeder's your returning state qualifier, makes it all the way to the finals in the singles bracket, loses in a tiebreak. Feel he's getting back to that spot where he's going to be a contender in the next couple weeks?
Yeah, this was Brendan's best tournament by far. He played well all day, and unfortunate event in the final there. Was up 7-4 before Dodge Cities came back and played a really well last couple games and clipped him in the tiebreak.
Aaron Ramirez was your other singles player, went, I think, 2-2 for 11th place. Pleased to see that out of a mixed bracket like that?
Very pleased, especially that was Aaron's first varsity meet. We had some illness, so as a freshman to step up, come in and go 2-2. Got us some great points and him some great experience.
Talking to Panther tennis coach Chris Manning. Double side, this is what can happen when they do the mixed bracket. Both of your teams meet kind of in the consolation side for a chance to play for fifth eventually. And your number 2 team listed it was Cameron Harbaugh and Caden Dynas. They beat Jacob Manning and Jacob Parks. A little bit surprised it was an 8-2 match.
It's always weird when you play your own team, especially in a tournament. And it's actually a bad matchup for Jacob and Jordan. Even though they're technically our one singles, they seem to struggle anytime they play against our number 2. And unfortunately, when it happens in a meet, you can get results like that. But Harbaugh and Dynas, that was definitely their best meet. They're kind of starting to peak at the right time. Both first-year players, starting to click for them, and it's just great to see.
And your tennis is always the season that kind of comes to a close first. How big was that third place finish as a team just to show the guys, hey, we can be pretty competitive?
Especially being this late in the year, we're trying to ride that momentum into this Emporia meet again on Thursday, and then hopefully in WAC's going to be really competitive. But we need those results just for those confidence so that we can go into regionals with our heads held high.
And so speaking of the wrap-up, Emporia today. You guys have added a Thursday varsity meet that will be hosted in Great Bend on Thursday, and then hosting WAC again Monday. Then you guys are at regionals next Friday at Salina. Fun or exciting to be heading into the end of the season already?
It's exciting. A little bittersweet that it's coming to a close so quickly, but we're excited. We're lucky enough to host WAC this year. We are going to kind of go all out, make it a fanfare event next Monday. We're having the voice of the Panthers come out and give introductions to the teams. We have a national anthem. We're going to have a ceremonial first serve. So it should be a good time. It's 9 a.m. on Monday if anyone's interested.
We will hope the weather holds out. We'll take the rain while we can get it, but not on tennis day. Coach, good luck to you today in Emporia and next week.
Thanks very much. Go Panthers.
You need to get rid
More
of the
sports
pain
day
you want
after
the
this.
best. You need to see Dr. Dan Quillen at Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. Call Dan at 620-282-4825. That's 282-4825. Excellence-driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the Fieldhouse at 9th and Madison in Great Bend.
At Next Tech Wireless, we know how important it is to stay connected. You can keep the whole family connected without breaking the bank. Now you can get up to 1, 2, 3, 4 lines for $100. And that's not all. Bring your number to us and get a $100 Visa gift card. Only at Next Tech Wireless, home on the range.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back, Sports Day here on KVGB. Wrapping up the Tuesday show. Good stuff. John Betts doesn't even know what show he's on. He's just giving me a hard... in fact, he was like on the first week of the show.
He came down.
Well, no, that was
this year.
That was retro. Sports Day.
Oh, okay.
This is the one that started in 2011. Yeah, he was one of the original guys. Now I can't even remember the show's name. He's got too many things going on.
You helped launch an illustrious publishing career for her.
Yeah, it's all me. It did nothing, with John Betts. Barton baseball. They're not playing today. They're supposed to take on Cali. That was kind of an attractive 9-inning game. I mean, you get somebody from the Jayhawk East that was, and Barton, but that has been pushed off due to anticipated. Is it raining outside yet?
It was somewhat when I was coming back from Larned this morning. There was a little bit of precipitation. Not necessarily what I'd call rain, but just a little bit.
Okay, all right. So hopefully we can still get some and Great Bend Panther stuff.
Great Bend Panther, from what I've seen, is still locked and loaded, ready to go. We're going to have some quality Panthers versus TMP tonight, believe it is.
Right, and then the girls take on Garden City.
Yep,
so
there we
single
go.
Game tonight out there. And we've got turf. So you can play through it.
Let's get some quality stickball going on.
As long as there's not any lightning within 75 miles. So
it may be a little closer than that, but we can extend it.
Okay, all right. Brett Biggs will be on tomorrow with some of his coaching staff talking Barton baseball. They've got a big series with Butler. Not Butler, but Hutch, yeah, the Blue Dragons. And it starts in Hutch on Thursday, back home on Saturday. And let's see, Barton softball playing. Their games moved to Thursday with Dodge City. And let's see, what else is on the show tomorrow? Oh, yeah, Great Bend Panthers softball. Carrie Minton will be in. Hopefully she brings a couple players with her. And we'll talk Fort Hays State sports with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Welbrock. So coming up on the program tomorrow.
Be a good show. Got some late-breaking hockey news. Cale Maker suspended
suspended for
Game 5 for interference.
There you go.